مبارك. النكاح من سنتي ما قال النبي هو الصحيح. نكاح مبارك مبارك. نكاح مبارك مبارك. زواج مبارك مبارك. النكاح من سنتي ما قال النبي هو الصحيح. نكاح مبارك مبارك.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, brothers and sisters, to another episode in the series titled Marriage and Divorce. With myself is Sheikh Haitham Al Haddad, who currently resides in the UK and is on the board of the Sharia Council of Britain and is also the founding member of the website www.islam21c.com. We have now reached a topic where we have been discussing the rights of the husband upon the wife. And we covered in the last episode the obligation of obedience. Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh.
Assalamu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Now we want to move on to the wife making herself available for the husband. What should we understand by this?
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salamu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sahbihi wasallam said, it is part of the husband over his wife if he were to ask her for his need or for his right, means ask her to have sexual relationship with her or to ask her to attend his bed. She would or she must attend even if she is cooking or baking something. This is one hadith. In the other hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, if a lady refuses to attend her husband's need, sexual need, and he slept overnight or he stayed overnight angry with her, the malaika will curse her until the morning. These are two main ahadith that talk about the right of the husband over his wife in terms of sexual intimacy. Now, we need to understand that the Prophet ﷺ knows, he speaks on behalf of Allah. So he knows how men think and how women think. He knows that if the man has been aroused, he needs to fulfill that sexual need. If he doesn't fulfill that sexual need, he will be disturbed. And if he is disturbed, he will even create some problems for his family. He will create other problems in the society. Let alone that he might be involved in some haram activities because he doesn't or he can't fulfill his sexual needs with his wife. The Prophet ﷺ also knows that it is the nature of the wife, generally speaking. Again, exceptions is different. But generally speaking, that wives can do this. Because Allah Jalla wa Ala, He is the one who created them. Allah Jalla wa Ala knows that women in general or wives in general can do this. Especially an obedient wife, especially the wife that looks at this issue as an act of ibadah. She wants to beautify herself for her husband and she wants to make herself available for her husband. If she thinks like this, then she will be able to attend his sexual need.
So we need to make a point that this is not just a physical act on its own. It's part of ibadah, part of pleasing Allah.
Part of pleasing Allah Jalla Ala. In the Quran, by the way, regarding obedience, regarding the wife being obedient to her husband, Allah Jalla Ala described as-salihat. فَالصَّالِحَاتُ قَانِتَاتٌ حَافِظَاتٌ لِلْغَيْبِ. فَالصَّالِحَات, the righteous women, قَانِتَات. قَانِتَات. The scholar said qunut here as a description or as one of the qualities of women means that they are obedient to their husbands. Okay? Qunut in general means being obedient. And in general means obedient to Allah Jalla wa Ala, humble before Allah Jalla wa Ala. Allah Jalla wa Ala described women in a few places. One of them is this ayah, this verse, فَالصَّالِحَاتُ قَانِتَاتٌ حَافِظَاتٌ لِلْغَيْبِ بِمَا حَفِظَ اللَّهُ, that they are observing or they are being obedient and listening and humbling themselves before their husbands. So this is the first right. part of humbling themselves and being obedient to their husbands is to attend his need when he wants to have a relationship with her. On the other side, also we need to mention, or maybe when we talk about the rights of the wife, we need to talk about how the husband should approach his wife. And the Prophet ﷺ said, the person should not jump on his wife as an animal does it. No, he should فَلْيُقَدِّمْ بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ means
in a certain way.
Yeah, approaches her in a certain way, have foreplay, etc. But sometimes husbands might need to approach their wives maybe a little bit quickly. That should be tolerated and that should be attended by the wives. If we search, just simple Google search, regarding the differences between sexual nature or sexual natures of men and women, we will find that there are fundamental differences between the sexual natures of men and the sexual natures of women.
And they complement each other.
And they complement each other, okay? In fact, this point that you just mentioned, if you read it, you will be really surprised that they really fit perfectly together. They fit perfectly together. And we will understand why Islam prohibited us from free mixing. For example, I can read some of what I have came across regarding the differences between the sexual nature between men and women. For example, in terms of orientation, in terms of orientation, and what encourages the husband or what urges the husband to have the sexual relationship. With men, it is the physical. With the women, it is the relational. The
emotional.
More emotional side. It is what you mentioned, the emotional oneness, it is mentioned as well. Physical oneness versus emotional oneness. With men, they need variety. With women, they need security. With men, sex is a high priority. With women, they have other priorities. In terms of simulation, what simulates the husband or men is different of what simulates women. For example, what simulates men is sight, smell, body centered, but what simulates women, touch, attitude, actions, word, person centered. And that's why when we talk about ikhtilaf, many people talk about free mixing and the impact of this on men. They don't know that this is more dangerous for women, because they will see different men. They will see that, oh, these men are caring, they are loving, they are gentlemen. And
because this is what stimulates the women.
Exactly. So they will be attracted to them. Not necessarily attracted to them sexually as men are attracted to women. No, they are attracted to them from other angles, and that will lead to sexual attraction. Anyway, there are many differences, even in terms of the rights of women and the rights of husband. It's good to understand that they also discuss the issue of needs. So, for example, men need respect, admiration, physical needs, and not to be put down, while women, on the other side, need understanding, love, emotional needs, and time, okay, and so on, if we want to go into these details. The nature of men is different from the nature of women from this perspective. And that's why even they say that if the man could not satisfy his sexual needs, he will be disturbed. And that's why Sharia said, if the man were to ask his wife for his sexual need, the wife should attend that. This is something important. And as we said, I think we said in the previous episode, this will also put love in the husband's mind and heart and towards his wife, because he feels that his basic needs have been fulfilled. Now, we need to understand something very important, which is when the wife agreed to get into this marriage, she should know what kind of expectations, what kind of life, what are the consequences of this contract that she's signing on or that she is signing for. What are her expectations, and also what are the consequences of this contract.
I mean, she should know that she's signing the contract. She should know what she's signing, what conditions it includes.
Obviously, when you sign for anything, you need to know what is it, what does it entail, etc. So when we talk about rights, and duties, each party should know what are the rights and the duties. Why is this? Because this will prepare him or her. Later on, they will not complain. For example, when we talk about the right of the husband over his wife in terms of sexual intimacy, when she understands this, and her parents should explain this to her, because obviously the husband will have a sexual relationship with her from the first night, most likely. So the parents should have a level of maybe openness with their daughter in order to prepare her. So part of the preparation is to prepare her that your husband might ask for his right and you have to give it to him. This is part of the agreement, part of the contract. That's why, from an Islamic perspective, when people do ask us, is there any rape within marriage? We are talking about Islamic marriage. We are not talking about the civil marriage. Okay? Within Islamic marriage, there is nothing called rape.
Okay. And I think, Sheikh, on this point, we're going to have to just delay for a minute, so we'll come back, inshallah. Brothers and sisters, please return where we shall continue discussing the rights that the husband has upon his wife. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Where truth is hidden and misleading quotations create confusion. Where truth is hidden, lack of knowledge and wisdom cause upheaval and commotion. Where truth is hidden, manipulated scriptures and twisted facts emerge. This very hidden truth creates false propaganda, mayhem, chaos, disorder, and turmoil in our lives and the world order. But is there anyone with courage and wisdom? What is the truth, and who has the courage to expose it? Because it's your right to know the truth.
Watch truth prevail and lies perish in Truth Exposed by Dr. Zakir Naik. Every Sunday to Friday at 9 p.m. and repeat telecast at 7:30 a.m. India on Peace TV. Peace TV presents over 100 million viewers at one of the largest peace conferences in the world, addressing a sea of spellbound spectators. Over 30 world-renowned orators on Islam with credentials impeccable.
The truth of Islam.
Deen is your way of life.
It is our duty, our obligation.
By following the Quran and Sunnah,
we will give the message to one and all.
With articulation exquisite.
Read the book of Allah.
Islam is the easy way. It's the simple way.
Remain each other.
The Muslim is not a source of harm for other people.
Collaborate with the people for good.
This is the call of Islam.
With the mission of spreading the truth of Islam.
Do what you can to spread the word of Islam.
Wherever we are.
Live like Muslim.
Use your power.
Allah is saying, why do you need anything else? This Quran is self-sufficient.
The only book on the face of the globe, the Quran. How a human being should lead his life is given in this instruction manual, the glorious Quran.
For peace to prevail on earth in Peacemakers. Next on Peace TV.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome again, brothers and sisters, to the continuation of the discussion where we are talking about the rights that the husband has upon his wife. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
You were just making a crucial point, I think, in terms of the right that the husband has over the wife when it comes to her making herself available for him?
Yeah. I was saying that if we understand the background that we have mentioned in the first part of this episode, we conclude that in Islam, there is nothing called rape within marriage. I'm talking about Islamic marriage again. Why is this? Because the contract means that the wife is ready to have a sexual intimacy with her husband. Okay? Now, this is the agreement.
So she knows.
She knows. And this is the agreement. This is the contract. I don't want to mention some bad examples about a person having a contract with a lady to have a sexual relationship with her. Okay? We don't want to give that example. But the nikah contract means that the wife is ready to make herself available for her husband. Now, of course, we are not saying that the husband should force her or harm her. We are not talking about this. So let us not jump into exceptions, as we always say. Yeah?
When a lot of people say, yes, but this happens, and look at that culture, look at this culture. We're not talking about cultures even. This is about
we are not
Islamic
talking about
marriage.
that. And we are not talking about exceptional cases. We are not talking about mutual love and respect between both parties. We are talking about the Shar'i legal rights. The Shar'i legal rights give us a framework
to work within.
To work within. Hence, if there is a disagreement, if there is a dispute, if they go to the court, and also their expectations, will be set based on the framework. This is what we are saying. Otherwise, is it the best practice? No, we are not talking about that. Because people immediately take the legal framework as if it is the norm. And then they judge the Islamic viewpoint according to that. No, we are not talking about that. So if it happened, okay, or in certain circumstances, we say the wife has to give the husband that right. Now, having said that, if the wife, for example, said that I can't do it, she got into this marriage, and then she found that her husband is asking her for his right, and she can't do it. Fair enough. It means that you cannot continue in the contract. Because the basis of the contract is to make yourself available for him. This is like employment. I employed the person to work software engineer, as a software engineer. And I was asking him within the contract to do certain things within the contract. And at one point, he said, well, I can't do it. Okay? He said he can't do it. Then it means that we need to finish the contract. Then it is up to me as the employer to say, well, sorry, I can't continue. It is up to the husband to say, sorry, I can't continue. If the husband wants to continue, it is up to him. It is his right. He can forego his right, or he can ask for his right fully. Okay? But in this case, of course, if they go to the court, the issue of dowry has to be split, because now the wife is breaking the contract. This is the issue. Once we understand this, the relationship will be perfect. The relationship will be perfect. Of course, we are not asking husbands to be forceful, and to intimidate their wives, to force their wife into something that they might not like. And wallahi, see, if there is love, mutual love, or mutual respect, or leave even this, mutual understanding, and the wife feels that she needs to fulfill the right of her husband, this will increase the attachment between both sides.
To strengthen the bond.
It will strengthen the bond, and life will go smoothly.
SubhanAllah. And I think, obviously, now we're talking about the rights of the husband. there's also the rights of the wife, which we will come to also. So it's not a completely one-sided thing.
Of course, of course, of course.
I wanted to ask a question to do with the whole issue, if she doesn't want to. To what limits does Islam allow the husband to go to when it comes to this, if she refuses?
As we said, it is up to him. It is up to him. If he wants to forego his right completely, it is up to him. Yeah? And we always advise husbands to be reasonable.
Of course.
Yeah? And Allah Jalla wa Ala allowed men to marry another wife, a third wife, if some men, because they have strength and ability to have sexual relationship with more than one wife. فَانْكِحُوا مَا طَابَ لَكُم مِّنَ النِّسَاءِ مَثْنَى وَثُلَاثَ وَرُبَاعَ. And the Prophet ﷺ got married to more than one wife. And as we mentioned, that Ibn Abbas told his student, why don't you marry? If you don't marry, I will think that you are impotent. The Prophet ﷺ, or the best of this ummah, is the one with the number of women. The Prophet ﷺ. And it was the habit of the companions of the second generation, of the third generation, to have more than one wife, and that used to work perfectly. In fact, akhi, there has been studies that the husband with more than one wife, yeah, he's healthier than the husband with one wife. In fact, they said in 2000, I think 4 and 5, there was a study about the husbands who have more than one regular partners or wives, yeah, that they live 10% longer than the husbands with one single wife. So if the husband has that need, okay, then he can go for that need. That is far better than the wife pushes him for haram. By the way, there was a question about wives who deprive their husbands their rights. Will they be sinful other than being cursed by the malaika, as we said that the Prophet ﷺ said? I mean, if the husbands fall into sin,
will the wives also get that sin, you mean?
Will the wife get that sin as well? Because she is the one who pushed him. First of all, as we said, it is not an excuse.
No.
Yeah, for the husband to say, my wife is not satisfying me, that's why I was looking for satisfaction outside my marriage. It is not an excuse. The husband will be responsible and he will be judged on the day of judgment, and he will be punished. Yeah, severe punishment for zina, as the Prophet ﷺ described it. This is not an excuse. But the issue is, the wife might be sinful, okay, other than her original sin, because she pushed him into the sin. As we said with the parents who refuse to allow their children to get married, they will be sinful because of this, if their children fell into haram.
Allah. And I think one point is, if two people are married together, there should be no reason why either of them would refuse the other when it comes to this.
Well,
apart from medical conditions, we're not talking about exceptions.
I remember I had a discussion with one Malaysian lady in 2003. There was a rape case in Malaysia, and Malaysia, supposedly a Muslim country, they were discussing this issue of rape within marriage. And I clarified that within Islamic marriage, okay, there is nothing called rape, because the wife has already signed the contract to make herself available. Then the lady on the other side said, well, but she might be stressed, she might hate her husband, she might not want. I said, okay, fair enough. We need to differentiate between one-off and something regular. As I said previously, if it is something regular, then she's breaking the contract, and the husband has the right to finish the contract, because from her side, this is, as they say, breach of contract. Yeah? But if it is one-off, then obviously Allah commanded men وَعَاشِرُهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ to deal with them in kindness.
Yeah, this is common sense. It's a part of the relationship.
Yeah, okay. And obviously the husband might be able to satisfy his needs by maybe not full sexual relationship, by something below that, in order just to satisfy his needs and to live amicably with his wife.
So we're saying as long as it's not a long-term issue, then it shouldn't really be that much of an issue in the relationship.
Yes, yeah. From both sides, men and women.
Before the end of the episode, Sheikh, is there anything else you think we should mention regarding this point?
Yeah, we will be talking about, the right of the wife over her husband in terms of intimacy. Because as we are discussing it now, no one should say, well, you are just discussing the right of the husband over his wife. No, we are explaining it now. Later on, we will explain the right of the wife over her husband in terms of sexual intimacy.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Brothers and sisters, please return to us in the next episode where we shall continue to discuss the rights that the husband has over his wife. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
نكاح مبارك زواج مبارك